ongoing assessment of fish assemblages in Princess Royal Harbour, Albany. The beautiful town of Albany is located on the southern coast of Western Australia off King George Sound. Data collection and analysis was carried out by marine science students from University of Western Australia with the help of Southern Port Authority, Port of Albany, in April 2016. The abundance and distribution of fish species are important considerations for both marine ecosystems and human populations alike, especially in coastal communities. This study examines the species richness, or number of different species present, and species abundance, or total number of individuals at various sites in Princess Royal Harbour, in either Port of Albany or at open areas on the opposite side of the channel. Comparison between sites of port or open status and between years 2015 and 2016 can reveal variation in fish assemblages and ideally become the foundation for a set of longer-term baseline data to better understand local Albany fish assemblages. This information can be used for marine conservation and coastal management in the Albany region. It could also be translated to systems with similar environmental conditions or anthropogenic pressures in other parts of the world, and thus this research is incredibly important. It was hypothesized that there would be no significant change in fish abundance between 2015 and 2016, and that there'd be a higher total abundance of fish in port areas than open areas. This could be attributed to a range of factors, including fishing restrictions, which have been in place in Port of Albany for almost 15 years, differences in anthropogenic activities, or environmental conditions between sites of each status. For example, many port sites had a higher presence of important habitat structures such as pylons. Data on fish abundance and species richness was collected using stereo-baited remote underwater video systems, or stereo-brubs, in a before-after control impact or BACI design. In total, 42 replicate sites were sampled in both 2015 and 2016 in each open and port status. All sites were chosen haphazardly within either status area to avoid pseudo-replication and standardized for reef habitat type known to support demersal species in order to reduce spatial variation of fish assemblages. Data collection took place on 3 consecutive days with similar weather and sea state conditions in April of both 2015 and 2016 between 9 AM and 4 PM to reduce the possibility of temporal variation of fish assemblages, including seasonal and crepuscular differences. These considerations were incorporated to reduce sources of experimental error. Each stereo bruv drop produced 60 minutes of video footage for data analysis using Event Measure, a computer software program that facilitates the identification, measurement, and total count, or max N, of all visible species. This provides raw data on species richness and abundance at each site. Further analysis using Primer 6 software revealed similarity or dissimilarity between variables using statistical tests including modified Gower and Permanova. 5 target fish species, including pink snapper, blackfin brim, King George whiting, tarwhine, and western blue groper, were selected to illustrate the results. The results indicated that overall there was no significant difference in both target and total fish abundance between the years 2015 and 2016, and the abundance of total and targeted species was significantly higher in port areas than in open ones. There was a strong correlation between fish species and status, with open and port areas characterized by distinctly different species. This pattern is reflected in the habitat type present, which illustrates a strong connection of some species with their environment. For example, striped trumpeter and target species King George whiting were most prevalent in open areas, characterized as shallow and undeveloped, usually associated with seagrass or sandy habitat types. In contrast, species such as banded sea sweep, western crested morong, black-headed puller, and target species blackfin brim were most common in port areas. A large population of juvenile pink snapper was also observed in port areas. These results are significant as they provide an important insight into habitat preferences and requirements of local fish assemblages. From this study, we can conclude that there is a higher abundance of species in poor areas and no significant difference of total or targeted species richness or abundance between years. However, the drivers behind these results remain unclear. In this way, the study lays the foundation for future research opportunities in Princess Royal Harbour. For example, fish measurement projects to investigate population demographics, or other projects to isolate the influence of fishing restrictions, habitat differences, or other factors on fish assemblages.
I didn't want to leave you down south when I said that I would call you, squeeze you a little bit of love. I didn't want to. Anyway, I could have told you all the time. You wanted to hear it, eyes. I'm seeing it all clear. You seem to be surprised. Remember how